Hello, everyone. It's Alex from Metal Master Kingdom, and welcome to another episode of Virtual Chats. And today on the show, we are pleased to welcome Erik Martensson of Eclipse. So, Erik, I just want to say thanks so much for joining me, and great to reconnect after we chatted a few years back. And
Yeah,
great to talk again.
wonderful to be back.
Awesome. So I know the biggest thing that we should start off with is Eclipse have the second volume of Megalomanium coming out. Last year, when you guys released the first volume, we had no idea that there was going to be a second volume. And I remember you guys saying that it was your most ambitious album to date. And now I see why, because there's two
Yeah.
volumes. Talk about how the idea came about to do a two-volume album, and how long did it take to write like 20 plus songs?
Yeah, well, as all good ideas, they always start with drinking beer. So we had a party, and I think it was in my house. It was not with the band. It was with other friends. And I think the rule for the music was only CDs and vinyls. So I
Right.
was down scrolling through my CDs, and I found Melancholy and Infinite Sadness with Smashing Pumpkins.
Hmm.
And I thought, like, no band ever, they don't do double albums anymore. They did in the 70s and during the early 90s, there were
Yeah.
double albums, but not since. And especially in this day of age of streaming, it's no one is stupid enough to do a double album anymore. People release singles only. So
Yeah.
I thought this must be the best idea ever. So I texted all the guys in the band and we should do a double record. And we had a lot of songs, and we were still writing songs for the upcoming albums, and we had like 30 songs. And well, this is the golden opportunity to actually do this ambitious project of a double record, double album. And so we started, but I think the what really sold the idea to us was later. I came up with this idea that we should have released them as two separate records with 1 year apart, because to be honest, even in the 90s and the 70s, people probably couldn't get through a double album because it's just too much music at the same time. So I think
Yeah.
it would be even more fair to the fans to release it as two separate releases. But we
Yeah.
didn't tell anyone about it, so that was the kind of the plan. But everything was written and recorded at the same time, so it is truly a double record, and it was a very ambitious, and it's actually much more work to do a double record than I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking about it, like you're now in the company of bands that did it. You know, you got Guns N' Roses with Use Your Illusion, you got Metallica with Load and Reload. So good to be in that company, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's also the title, Megalomania, the Megalomanium. We made our own word out of it,
Yep.
and yeah, that's it kind of explains the title because it's such a stupid idea. So why not?
Yeah, sure. And it's packed full of once again great songs. You know, I'm all about big hooks and melodies. You and Magnus as a writing team, like you guys have come up with like to me probably like my favorite hooks of all time, especially in modern rock bands and all that. Like, you know, you got
Thanks.
the three singles. You got Apocalypse Blues, Spark, and Falling to My Knees, but also some of the unreleased songs as well. You got Till the War Is Over and Pieces to All I Want. You know, just amazing stuff all time. But one of my favorite songs, probably I would say probably the best song on the entire album is the closing track, One in a Million. To me, it
Ooh,
feels like a successful summarization of all the best elements that Eclipse has. You got the heaviness, you got the epic soaring chorus, and then the bridge, you got a little bit like double bass going on. So tell me about how this one came about.
yeah, yeah. Well, thank you. I really love that song, and it felt that it could have been a single, but I think it's too long for a single,
Hmm.
especially if Spotify would completely ignore it. But yeah, it's too bad. And anyway, we had this song, but it was like a standard 3 minute song, and I was kind of tired of having too many 3 minute songs.
Yeah,
So I just told the guys I'm gonna try to make like a almost like a Justice for All with Metallica. Just add a lot of guitar riffs on top of each other.
yeah,
Just they make no sense, but it's pretty cool anyway. So
yeah,
I sat down for an hour just jamming different guitar riffs, and I put them together like like with tape and different pieces and try to tape it all together. And somehow, how stupid it is at the drawing board, it was very stupid, but it's kind of worked anyway.
Yeah.
So it's the recorded version is exactly like the demo I did before. The riffs are identical, which
Yeah.
is pretty fun.
Yeah. Sometimes those things where you just start putting something randomly together, you never really know how it's gonna come out. Like you put a bunch of riffs together where the transitions are like you don't think it would make sense, but until you try, you never know what the finished result's gonna be like. So it's worth
Yeah.
taking a chance, I guess.
It's like songwriting in general, you can have the best riff and the best verse and the best chorus, but if when you put them together, it's just completely rubbish.
Yeah.
But the chorus could be the perfect chorus in another song, but it just they have to. There is like a tension release thing that and it's I know this as a craftsman of writing songs because I've been writing so many songs, but it's still just as much a mystery
Yeah.
why it works and why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's yeah, some people, they know, the hit writers, they always get it right.
Yeah.
But well, maybe not. On the songs they actually finish when they get it right, I
Yeah.
guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With you being such a prolific songwriter, and writing so many songs, have you ever found yourself in like where you hit like what's called a writer's block, where you get stuck on an idea and then maybe like Magnus or somebody else would come to the rescue and like help you finish it? Like, what's one song that you would probably say that kind of thing happened?
On this record.
It can be any record, any record that you got.
It happens all the time. I think that's the best thing about writing together with others because when at least someone is having an idea, it doesn't have to be the best idea because
Yeah,
even a bad idea can also then it's bad and you don't want that and you can just help each other out. And sometimes I write a lot of stuff all by myself and sometimes it just works out perfectly and other days it's just there is something great about the song, but you just can't like wrap it up and make it, as I said before, all the parts are great, but they still suck when they're put together, kind of. Yeah. And yeah, so I had, the spark, the song from this album. I had the whole, the riff, I had the verses and I had a chorus, but I didn't like the chorus. And Magnus came in and we just did a jam and like we came up with this because he said we should have something like he had like an idea. It should have this ending and somehow we just nailed it instantly.
yeah,
Without him, I couldn't have written it.
yeah,
But he couldn't have written that chorus if I didn't have the first part.
yeah. Even just like
Yeah.
one small change will make like a drastic difference, and it's
It's
crazy.
unbelievable sometimes how a small change in a melody can just make a song from bland to great.
Yep. Even if it's just like two notes or something.
Yeah, yeah, or yeah, just change the rhythmic pattern or something, and it's just there is, and it just happens, and I think that's why it's so. I still love as much writing songs because it's just that small part is still the mystery. And
Yeah,
inspiration is also a mystery still. I don't know why I write great songs one day and I can just spend a week of doing complete rubbish.
yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
happens. It happens. It happens
Yeah.
in my band too. Like everyone in the band, including myself, we all write songs and then we bring them all and to see what works. And then we could be on a roll one day, and then the next day we could be like, what happened? Right? It just goes dead.
Yeah. And I think that's also it's really important that you have the right vibe when you write songs. And if I'm sitting here writing all by myself, and then someone walks into the room who's very happy and like just makes me happy, then I will instantly write better songs. But if
Yeah,
I'm sitting here with someone who's just saying everything is shit, not good, not good enough, then you're like, just you're going down.
yeah,
So you don't you can write songs together with other people. They don't even have to write anything. They can just sit next to you in the room, and it's gonna be a completely different song, which
exactly.
is
Exactly. The same thing when with listening to a song as well. Like I find myself doing this all the time. Like I'll listen to a new album, and the songs could be great, but for some reason, if my mindset is not like right, or if I'm just like in a mid or low kind of mood, and I listen to a song, it may not grab me in the moment, but the next day I revisit it, and I could be in a totally different mood. I'm like, man, this song's awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
that's
it's
completely,
crazy.
yeah. It's crazy, and it's well, it's human nature.
Yep.
It's like every day, some days everything is fantastic, and some days it's like you don't know why, but you're not in the mood for anything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sucks.
Yeah.
So, well, one because you have like so many projects as well. You got Eclipse, you got W.E.T, you got Nordic Union, and a few other things that you're involved with. Because all the
Yep.
projects that you're a part of, they have a very similar sound. And when writing songs, how do you decide like what riff is going to be for what band? Like, okay, these are going to be for Eclipse, these are going to be for W.E.T, these for Nordic Union. How do you go through that process?
Well, so of course they can sound. I have a very, I have a certain style that I like, and a certain kind of choruses that I like. So even if they can sometimes sound the same, but for me, the projects have completely different vibes.
Yeah.
The Nordic Union thing has got this more melancholy, more it leans a little more to heavy metal.
Mhm.
Wet is more, maybe it's more like, yeah, if it's a good song, it fits on the album. It's not, we don't have any, like, it doesn't have to be something new, or, we don't have to reinvent the wheel in any way. If it's a good song, it's on the album, and it's more lean towards the AUR, very melodic, catchy.
Yeah.
No, but with Eclipse, that's more like that's our band, and that's us 100%. So, whatever we want ends up on the album. It could be an ARS, it could also be a metal song, but
Mhm.
it's the important thing is that we try not, even if some people complain about it, we try not to repeat ourselves too much. Of
Mhm. Of
course, we liked it 3 minutes catchy songs, but we
course.
always, if you listen to the first albums or Bleed and Scream or one of those earlier albums, if you compare this to this album, it's pretty different.
Oh
But
yeah.
you can still hear it's the same band,
Yeah.
right? And we always want to, evolve and add new stuff to our sound and kind of explore what can Eclipse be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
even if we do a song that sounds like it's even if we write let's say we write the best Whitesnake song ever, it's not going to be on the record because
yeah,
it sounds like Whitesnake. So there's no point because Whitesnake is already best at being Whitesnake, and we
absolutely.
always try to be the best, Eclipse.
Of course. That's all you can
Yeah,
do. And you briefly mentioned the like the early albums. I know the last time we chatted, we touched briefly on this, but the first three albums, Truth and a Little More, Second to None, and Are You Ready to Rock? We obviously
yep.
never really hear you playing songs from those, and I didn't mention that production quality has a big role in that. But I wanted to ask, have you ever thought about maybe doing like an album of re-recordings of select songs from those albums and giving them a second chance or a new life with today's production they use?
I don't know. I think it would be, isn't it easier to just write new songs that you like instead of just revisiting old songs that you don't really like?
Yeah.
Especially, they're back in, especially, the first two records is like official demos. We
Yeah.
had no clue what we was doing. We had no producer. I mixed it myself,
Mhm.
and I'd never been in a studio before, which made it pretty hard. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's, if we would, we were great musicians. If we had a good producer, maybe they could have turned out okay. I
Yeah.
don't think they did, but I learned a lot from doing them because of doing them. I'm working a full-time producer nowadays,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
songwriter. I mix record. That's my day job. I mix records.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What's the latest going on with Wet and Nordic Union?
There's a new wet record coming in. I think it's in February.
Oh, okay.
It's already done. It was actually mixed and mastered in March, I think.
Hmm.
But because of the Eclipse release, we had to postpone it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Eclipse release was postponed a bit, and then we had to postpone the wet record as well. But
Do you
it's
have a, do you have a
it's
title
coming.
for it?
Apex.
Apex?
Yeah.
Nice. And an exclusive right here, folks.
Yeah.
All right. Apex.
I don't know if that's official yet.
Okay. Okay. Twist up right there.
Yeah.
What about Nordic?
No, and no new record plan at
Right?
the
You
moment.
guys put an Animalize a couple years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, anim animalistic.
Oh, Animalistic. Sorry. What am I thinking?
Yeah. Animalized. That's
Yeah,
Kiss, right?
that's Kiss, yeah.
Yeah, cool
And great
record.
to hear that Ronnie's doing well as well.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, like 5 years ago, I think it was in 19, I spoke to him when he's got the diagnosis, and it was
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna fucking die in a year.
yeah,
It was that, and it was like, and now we're here, 2024, and he's still going strong, and he's like, he's
yeah,
back
yeah,
from the dead. Yeah, but it was like this is not gonna end well, and it's
yeah,
gonna end pretty soon,
yeah, for
and
sure.
it's just well, I'm so happy.
Yeah, we're all happy too, and he's still going through his treatments, which is important. So,
Sure.
Godspeed, Ronnie.
Yeah, fantastic. Great guy. I learned a lot from Ron, especially being a seasoned musician. Like he works so hard to make everything like perfect. He's not, a lot of older rock stars, they're more like, yeah, it's good enough. It's good enough. They get tired with it, but he's not. He's very picky with songs and production and everything, which is for me is unbelievably good. I really love that.
Yeah, for sure. And
Mm.
okay, so I just got like one more question, and then I'll let you go
Sure.
because you probably got a
No,
busy
it's
day
worse.
of interviews and all that. But in regards to playing live, I know you guys are like slowly starting to dabble a little bit here in North America with some gigs. Is that a sign that
Yeah.
maybe we can expect some more?
Yeah, we're coming in October. Well, the big problem has been the visas, especially since COVID. It's been really hard even
Yeah,
getting an appointment, but
yeah, yeah,
now it seems like we are actually getting them. It's been
yeah,
like it's just about time. Otherwise, we had to cancel once again. Then
yeah,
it would have been the third time we had to cancel, which means now we have visas for over a year, and we will maybe, hopefully, we get more gigs coming. But we can't book a tour until we know we can actually do the tour,
yeah,
which is I really hope that we can do a lot more gigs in US.
yeah, for sure.
But we
Hopefully,
had is it Rock the Locks Festival?
Rock the Locks.
No, yeah, was that the one in October
And I know you
in
guys are coming.
Oregon?
I know you guys are coming to LA and playing the whiskey, right?
Yeah, but we're coming already
Yeah,
now in October.
yeah,
Hang on, I'll tell you.
yeah. I did see you guys are
I should know this.
playing a
Yeah,
festival.
Rock the Locks Festival in
Rock the
Oregon.
Locks. Got it.
Rock the Locks. Yeah,
Nice.
it's with Hailstorm and I don't know other bands. I think 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, for sure.
Hoobastank.
Oh,
That's gonna be
Hoopstick.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never seen them live. Back in the early 2000s, I loved them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And they're still going, which is amazing. So
yeah,
yeah,
great
and
band.
hopefully you guys will maybe find an opportunity to come here to Toronto because I personally and a lot of other people here would love to see you guys.
Yeah, that's also yeah. Well, we did South America the first time this year, so maybe it's time for do a proper North America,
Yeah,
Canada, and the whole thing.
yeah. I just want to say thank you so much for another great chat. I wish you well with Megalomanium II coming up and all the dates coming up, and hopefully one day we will see you guys here.
Wonderful. It's a promise. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. All right, Eric. So cheers and wish you
Cheers.
well, and hope we'll talk soon. All right.
Absolutely.
All righty.
Have a great day.
Okay. Take care, man.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.